morning. We're back with another edition of the show. It's January 3rd, 2021.
They run together. All the days. They run together.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Good morning, good people. We are back with part 2 of our, I guess you can say, like, mini-series with our sisters, with the collaboration, with our sisters. That's why your block podcast. Welcome back.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back. So, briefly, before we jump into our, back and forth, we're going to kind of have, we got a new president, and it feels different.
Yeah.
Does it?
I didn't feel nothing.
Well, I didn't watch it because I had work and I was so offended.
Yeah.
So I really...
Honestly, I
Does
really
it?
have not been paying attention. But I mean, I think it just, he did. I'm like, it makes sense. I don't know why anybody expected anything.
It's like I'm
different.
happy he gone,
Yeah.
but it's like,
Nothing really changed.
Because we voted out one.
I was gonna say.
We voted out one.
And then all the checks and balances. The real issue is the Senate.
Mhm.
We keep it a whole stack. So.
I just think what I mean, it feels different just from a leadership standpoint and just from a tone standpoint. In a sense of direction, the president doesn't hold all the power, but from a leadership standpoint, it's a different feeling knowing that, okay, there's someone that's competent that can do the job and will do the job properly without only worrying about himself and his own interests. So that's what I mean when I say it just feels different.
I feel
Well,
like
he
the
did some
country as a
things.
whole, when he finally became he was the president, it was like a sigh, like,
Right.
okay, now what you gonna do?
Right. Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't fully trust him or Kamala.
Right. And rightfully
And
so.
I'm one of them, but
Yeah, rightfully so.
Not
Yeah.
my first choice. Either one.
But
was not
I
my
don't know.
first
I feel
choice.
like it
I
feels
wanted
good
Bernie
to have a
over there.
woman as a vice president and a woman of color at that. Like,
I like the representation.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
But I only like the representation because that means that she won't be the last. That's
what I'm
the
saying.
only reason I like the representation.
yeah,
I mean-
not because of her as a person.
But yeah,
You know
it's
what
a
I'm saying?
thing. It's a first. I think that's definitely we're getting closer.
I mean, I saw more press on the girl that did the poem than I did about the president. Like,
Oh,
honestly.
Amanda Gorman.
Yes.
She
Overnight
was
sensation.
amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, my eyes watered a little bit, bro.
I forgot exactly what she said. It was just one part that just caught me when she was talking about how we gotta be, brave enough to like be the light.
Mm-hmm.
That
The-
part,
the
I
light
was
part,
like,
Mhm.
she had me at that point. I was like, yeah, you got it for real. But let's move on. So, we talked about it once the cameras stopped rolling after the show. But there's a lot of things that as a community we gotta have certain discussions when it comes to how we can come to understand each other again, because we have black women and black men, we've kind of drifted apart from each other in the sense that now it's kind of like, all right, we're over here and y'all over here and we shouting at each other.
Basically.
And
no one's listening.
And no one's listening, and no one's taking it upon themselves to close that gap back up so we can have these difficult conversations. And even then, when the conversations try to be had, like you said, no one's listening. Just like, for example, like I had brought up the fact that, like as men, we do stupid shit.
Yeah.
But the flip side of it is, y'all do too.
Yeah.
We all
That's very true. People ain't shit.
Yeah, I mean,
people ain't shit. Like it's a woman and a man thing. People ain't shit.
Okay, but the same stupid, just do it in different ways.
yeah. Women mature faster than us. That's a fact.
I don't know if I believe that. Honestly, like, I
Overall,
think.
I mean, we have to.
I was gonna say I really don't think we get the same luxury as you guys do, especially as when I grew up, I had boobs since I was like 11 or 12. So people assume that you're more mature
than you are.
And I feel like a lot of times girls, we're not, like she said, we're just not given the same opportunities or the same like allowance to be goofballs and to be dumb.
Yeah, that's because you guys are held to a higher standard.
Yes,
we are. I will say that. Like, a man could be 35 years old living at home with his mom. Nobody is really blinking too much of an eye. If a woman does that, she is a bum. Like, why isn't she married yet? All these other questions, like, you all get a lot more allowances to mess up than I think we do.
And we play a big role in that, I think, as well. We kind of coddle you guys a lot more than we coddle each other.
Very much so.
What do you mean by that?
Like, mamas love their sons.
That's true.
And they're
not kicking them out,
but they don't have that same
2,
energy
3, 4
a
pregnant.
lot of times for their daughters.
She getting kicked out. She gets pregnant. Oh, it's a shame.
Right, like, but if the son had it's the same thing, or along those lines, like as other women, like we're a lot. I feel like we coddle men, and we're like, well, he did da 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 da, and we're angry at the other woman if we're like in a relationship or something.
Never been me.
I mean, it won't be me.
I'm more ambitious as well. Like I was saying earlier, we like comfortability.
Well, I think it's kind of the same thing. We have to be like nobody's really gonna have our back. Like if it's not us, then
I think a lot of that frame of mind. And I'm not a woman, so I don't know. But I'm just going off of like what I've experienced and like whatnot. But I think a lot of that frame of mind comes from the fact that it's that motherly instinct that you guys have.
That's true.
And then on top of that, actually, yeah, it's the motherly instinct.
I
mean, that trumps everything.
Yeah, I find women making so many more excuses for men than they do for each other. Like, you ready to cut your female friend off for one stupid thing, but you let this Negro cheat on you how many times? You let him talk to you crazy how many times? And you're just like, well, maybe he's just... No. I think we just, as a whole... I think we also do a lot of men and women. We assume on each other's behalf. Women assume that men can't take certain conversations and vice versa.
Well, and I think what a lot of you guys, well, your sisters don't understand is the fact that, to be honest, like, I mean, as a whole, black people were peaceful. Like, black men, like, that's all we want is peace. Especially at home, because I'm serious, because listen, and the reason why I say that is because it's bad.
I've heard that before.
It's bad enough, right, that as a black man, when you leave your home, you got to dodge all these different obstacles daily. You gotta fight your friends. You got to fight your peers. That's not your friends. You got to fight your boss, your job, the police. You got to dodge all these different obstacles on a daily basis. And then when you come home and you got to deal with a toxic woman, someone who you think is supposed to be in your corner and have your back, yeah, a lot of men are going to behave in certain ways that they normally wouldn't behave in. And then all of a sudden, okay, well, now he's the problem because he's responding to a woman that either one doesn't get it or has a lot of unchecked traumas, if that makes sense.
All right.
She was waiting. I was like, I'm gonna let her take this one, and then I'll.
All right.
I'll
so to go to your first point of all the things that you go through as a black man. Is not mutually exclusive to you just as a black man. All those things we go through as well.
And have to come home. And then another job
that females go through
as
too.
Plus what it is to be a woman. And when you're both, I don't know if you've heard of the term misogynoir. I believe I'm saying it correctly, but like that is the marrying between the racism and sexism that we as black women face.
Intersectionality. We don't get to choose. I think someone asked me before, it was a man, he was like, well, do you feel more connected to the woman, like the feminism movement? First of all, it wasn't created for me. Feminist movement was literally created for middle class white women who were upset that black men got the right to vote before they do. So I wouldn't even call myself a feminist. But do you feel connected to women's rights issues more than black issues? And I was like, I wish I had your luxury to choose. I wish I had the same privilege that you had to choose between your sex and your race, but I don't.
And that's a good point. And I think a lot of times too.
Okay. Go ahead, finish your
I
point.
think a lot of times too, you guys don't know which side to choose.
Well, it's kind of like there's certain tropes as black women we get placed under. So we're either like the mammy, and this goes within media and certain understanding. So this like the mammy, the old like Aunt Jemima, like big black
Big
women
mama.
that gives you Medea type. We're there, right? Or we're either angry, the angry black woman.
Angry,
no
crazy,
reason.
yeah.
Right? Or we're the Jezebel. We're super sexualized, right? And only sexualized, not like attracted or considered beautiful, but just like a use for sexual.
Right.
But back to, okay, so I didn't get to finish making my point. You guys kind of, jumped in a little. So I want to get back to that. So as you were like, so we face the same things that you guys do. And I feel like, being honest, you guys don't take in accountability all of the trauma and hurt that you cause us. Because statistically, we have the same risk of cops and stuff, but we're still more likely to die at you guys' hands. Even though we're supposed to be your peace, you're never our peace. It's not like you, I'm not speaking to you guys, but add to us. We're supposed to work, right? Come home, be the woman, cook, be the sexual, put it down and do backflips, still go to work. We're supposed to raise the children. We don't get a break. And that's not something that really crosses you guys' mind. So when we come and we're in a relationship and we have certain expectations of you and you feel like we're asking too much, it's really unfair because we're just asking you to, I don't even think it's halfway sometimes.
Bare minimum. Black women ask the bare minimum.
And
I think black women ask
I
the
don't
bare
agree
minimum.
with that.
You can go through your list of what you think that we require from you, and we can say all that stuff, but I promise you at the end of the day we'll settle. And we'll settle because we feel like we don't have many other options, because it's like, oh, okay, well, he was nice, so I guess I have to go on a date with him. And that's something that we're taught growing up. Like, you all are taught, well, if she's not attractive, I don't have to talk to her. But we're taught, well, he's a nice guy, so maybe you should give him a chance.
And to last part, what a lot of times I feel like hurts us the most is when somebody looks like you, goes through the same thing as you, won't pick you first if given other options. Like, very rarely, or a lot of times, if guys have another choice of like a race or like a different complexion, the person that looks the most like them, they won't pick it. And I think, we carry that. And I do think that we carry a lot and we should be more vocal as women. But the biggest thing is I feel like you guys don't realize
how much we actually go through. And you say you do, your actions speak way, way louder. I think I've kind of like took off the fact that, look, if black men as a whole want to go and date other races, yes, on one hand, as a black woman, it hurts because we start your movements and sometimes it feels like you all leave us hanging. But I've decided to like just let that battle just be gone. Like, that has nothing to do with me at a certain point. But what really hurts is that we will start you all's foundations and movements and y'all don't even know about ours. Like I tried to tell someone about the Black Women Equal Pay Day. They had no idea that black women get paid less. They had no idea that black girls really go missing, and it's not a hashtag.
Well,
idea.
It's starting to get more attention now.
But it's been going on.
No, yeah,
Years later, like now, all of a sudden, like now it's trendy to be woke and it's trendy to be on these different things, and it's great. Thank you so much. But you have to understand how much pain and how much hurt has been in the years where nobody cared.
Yeah. I think the issue is we do a lot of comparing and a lot of, well, I go through this and you don't go through that, but it's vice versa. Instead of trying to understand what the person
Olympics.
go through, because exactly what y'all saying, y'all go through, we kind of go through the same thing. As far as y'all don't know what we go through on top of that, because y'all say y'all go home and take the kids, but we gotta bring home the bacon. You know what I'm saying? We gotta make sure y'all good financially and emotionally, which it can be stressful on us as well. And instead of trying to understand that, and on our side too, trying to understand y'all, we combat each other. Like, this is what we go to, y'all go through this. But when we go through this and I'm cleaning the house, instead of trying to understand what we're going through, that we both struggling and we both have issues, but we doing it for the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So we both could be good, instead of having that understanding and try to make each other better and life a little easier on both sides. We combat each other, and that's the issue.
And I think we get so caught up in, I guess, our everyday lives, and we're so locked in on what we're trying to do for our households and our families and whatnot, or somebody who we're involved with, and we forget that they're a completely different person from us. Like, you guys are women, we're men, so we react and see things from a different perspective than you guys do. Definitely. And just because that might be the case, that don't mean that we're wrong, or that you're wrong, or that, you know, the way I see the world is just like is not correct. You know, it's just like from a man's perspective, things that may be sensitive to you guys aren't sensitive to us.
And vice versa.
I understand. Definitely, we're different, and that's what it is. It's not one's higher than the other. We're just different. We think differently, and that's just on both sides. So before, when I said women ask for the bare minimum, well, black women specifically ask for the bare minimum, you were like, nah. So why don't you break that down, and then we'll go from there.
Because I don't think y'all ask for the bare minimum. I believe that y'all want a man with a certain amount of money. You want a man to treat you a certain type of way, which everybody need to be treated a certain type of way. I feel as though it's the expectations as far as black females for black men. Sometimes it exceeds what we can actually do sometimes.
All right.
Far as
at that moment.
Yeah, at that moment. Like, you like a person, but then you want them to be a certain level, far as financial, far as I'm trying to not.
Yeah, financial.
Well, when it comes to that, men use money to get women's attention sometimes, right? Don't introduce me to a vibe you cannot maintain. If you did all of this, if you tricking on Instagram, or you like, oh yeah, we can go here to eat, and we can go here to eat. The first day that you pick is some super expensive place. Excuse me for now thinking that that's your level.
But at the same time, we trying to make a first impression. Don't mean that we got it like
and
that.
Be honest with that.
We can be honest, but sometimes y'all don't like honesty.
That's another assuming on each other's behalf.
Which is, yeah.
I'll give you an example. Women assume that when we have sex with you and it's bad, that it'll hurt your feelings if we tell you the truth. You all assume that we can't take certain hard truths, like, hey, I just don't have it like that. Or, hey, you know,
we don't do
I'm smashing you. Yeah, we on both parts, we don't do a lot of communication because we're always assuming on what the other person can say. Why don't we just all be honest?
Trauma. Just like y'all talking about trauma, like far as physical, we get emotional trauma from females. We thinking we're not good enough. We didn't, did all this and it's still not good enough for any female, you know what I'm saying? But we specifically talking about the black female, you know what I'm saying? Like, we going to work every day, you know what I'm saying? But we still not making enough money. We still not where we supposed to be at. We ain't paid this certain bill, so you mad. Oh, he broke and he this, you know what I'm saying? Like, we go through a lot as well, and I think instead of, trying to come back, we got to understand each other more, you know?
We do. So why don't we take it from this point? Do you feel like men should pay for everything?
No.
What are the things that men should pay for, and what are the things that should be equal 50-50? Because I feel like black men still want the traditional mama. Or the traditional, like, she's going to cook, she's going to clean. Like, if she don't cook, why am I not talking to her? Well, if you don't pay bills, why am I talking to you?
No.
If we're talking about traditional, if we're talking about from that sense.
I think
y'all forget sometimes it's a partnership.
Right.
It is a partnership, but where does 50-50 go? Like, where is 50-50? Where does 50-50 start?
Well, so what I'll say is it depends on your relationship and what you agree upon.
I was about to say that.
And that's the key word, is what you agree upon. You got to have that conversation. If you want your woman to just do the house attending while you go to work, that's what y'all agreed upon. If you want,
you got to have that conversation.
You got to have that conversation.
You gotta have that bank account.
Yeah.
Right, that too.
And then a lot of females expect that, and then that man don't have a bank account. We was talking about before in a couple podcasts ago. I was saying that you shouldn't be a bill.
Right.
I shouldn't dictate. I shouldn't have to risk me being broke to take care of you and me.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You should be able to take care of yourself a little bit.
I get that. But
If I got it to spoil you and all that, then that's cool. But if I don't got it like that, you shouldn't put the pressure on me to treat you like I got it like that.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of wanted to go back a few of your points where I think you were talking, to me it seemed like you were talking about a specific women, that black women have these high standards for black men. And
as y'all should.
Well, I feel like we
Your
really...
standards is your standards as far as your person
I feel like
you have.
I'm speaking as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if
That's
you
I'm
look
speaking
at
as
your
a
like
whole.
your friends' relationships.
Mhm.
A lot of times, to me, it's very unequally yoked. To quote the Bible,
Yep.
it's not like. And especially to me, I've seen a lot of women who have degrees, who have good paying
Especially
jobs,
in the DMV.
area, and then to me they're taking care of the man. So it's not like we're expecting you. I feel like that's something that you guys think, but like in reality, I rarely see that.
Well, that
I'm talking like within our demographic right
Right.
now.
And how many women
Right.
do you know that actually, like, at this point in time, in their 20s, either aren't in school or don't have a job? Like, how many actually?
Nah, we the only race that get out educated by our mate.
Right, but I'm talking about it just in...
So with your
yeah.
expectation that you're assuming that we're wanting to pay everything, how can we do that if we outwork and out?
well, first of all, it's not your role and responsibility to be the one that's paying for everything.
I get that, but I'm saying what we do.
But do y'all accept that role, irresponsibility?
I would say we do. We hold down the I feel like we do
As
a
a
lot.
whole?
Okay, if
You don't.
okay,
As a whole?
I've had this conversation before. If I'm dating someone who's making $150,000 a year, right, and I'm making 80.
Maybe you should date within your bracket.
No. But what I'm saying is, if I'm making 80 and she's making 150, I'm still paying the rent. Because for me as a man, like that should be my responsibility, is taking on that bill.
And that makes sense.
And I feel like if you're cohabitating, that's a bill that you're gonna have if we're together or not. You gotta
Right.
pay
Right.
rent.
Right.
Like that's a thing that you have to do.
Right.
Like you have bills. As an adult, if you have like there's a certain amount of things that you should pay. So I feel like, if I suck your dick every day and I'm adding to your life, I'm buying grocery and paying other bills, like that's a bill that you're gonna have regardless. I just don't feel like we should split that. But
What, groceries?
no, I meant rent.
Oh.
I don't think you should split rent, but I mean the other bills I could split. Like I know growing up, my parents are still married. My dad paid the rent, my mom paid and I told her yesterday, you paid the custodial bills, like the cable.
Utilities and all
the
that.
utilities.
Yeah.
I don't mind that at all, but
Yeah.
sometimes when this conversation comes up, it sounds like men literally want to split everything 50-50.
No, not
like,
No.
But it's not
like
Hell no.
Exactly. Like we went out to eat. Like
Hell no.
you asked me out to eat. Why would I be why would
It's
you
not
ask me
real,
out
man.
to spend my own money?
Nah. I'm glad you said that.
Man.
Because I'm
Why?
I'm one of them type of people that will before when I first started talking to a girl, now because a lot of past issues with first dates, I like to see. First of all, if I like you enough, I'm just gonna pay for the first date off bucks. But I like to go half on the first date just to see if you really like me for me. Because a lot of females just go for the date, just to get that date. And then they Gucci.
Oh God.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So,
But didn't you ask
but
her?
But
didn't you ask her?
That's the difference. If I ask you, then I'm gonna pay for it.
Facts.
If we just say, let's go out where we're gonna go, and we mutually come to discussion that we're gonna go out. I will see how you gonna react when I say I don't pay for the first date.
So, okay.
A lot of times, I will pay for it because, the female, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. That's all I need to hear. I'm going to pay for it anyway. That's all I need to hear.
So it's like a test.
But a lot of females, y'all do the same thing. Don't act like y'all don't test us too.
Like I don't bring my wallet on the first date. I don't.
As you shouldn't.
I don't. You ask for the and I don't
As you
ask men.
shouldn't.
Maybe it's the thing. I don't ask. I've come to the conclusion. I don't ask men out on dates because I honestly feel like if a grown ass man wants your time, he'll ask for it.
Yeah.
I don't need to.
It's not your job to do that.
I mean, I feel like if I invite you out, I tend to pay. If you invite me out, I'm expecting you to pay. I don't mind paying
That's
for
fair.
things, and I feel like that's the way I do it. If you ask me out, I'm not expecting to pay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I will have
Like,
money.
yo, you try to go to movies, gotta go get something to eat. Then that's different. Or we talking like, okay, so when we going, what we gonna do something? And I'm like, okay, we can do this, or we can do that. That's different. And then I'll be like, okay, well, I don't pay for the first date, and then see how you gonna act.
Really
As-
have a first date.
We won't have one.
you all as women, it's not your job to chase. That's our job. Men, we're the.
I don't like chasing all the time.
But
I was gonna say you
We
really
get
don't.
that. No, I think
That's
women
what
can
we-
no,
show
what I
interest.
what I
Women
mean.
can show interest,
so-
but chasing and showing interest are two different
So
things.
what I mean,
I'm not
so
about to
what I
chase nobody.
what I mean by that, what I mean by that is, it's not our job to start the. It's not your job to start the conversation. That's our job. If we're interested enough and we want to, spend time with you, that's our job to initiate, and then you guys fill it out from there.
Oh, trust me,
You know what I'm
you gonna know.
Right. That's what I'm
You
saying.
don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't know.
It shouldn't be your job to approach us. I mean, it happens, and I'm not faulting women for doing it, but
It's refreshing.
it is refreshing because I've had it happen to me and it like kind of like threw
Caught
me
you
off.
off guard.
Yeah, but
when
men, we're the hunters, so we're the ones who are supposed to do that, and then you guys just fill it out from there.
Anytime I've ever been hanging out with a female friend and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot my shot at this guy, it's really on jokey joke time. Like it's never like a serious thing. It's like, let me just see what he says. Like
Women
I'm
are
drunk
more
enough.
likely to when we shoot our shot, it's more likely to swish than men because we don't do it as much. You guys shoot your shot a lot more than we.
Yes, we do.
Get
I
used
see
to
that.
rejection.
So like
I see
women,
that
so
when-
we don't do it as often because I don't feel you guys don't really have a fear of rejection because you guys have been shooting your shot since you're 10.
I wouldn't say there's not
No,
a
we
fear
got
of rejection.
used to
Yeah, you got
rejection.
used
That's
to
not-
it.
It's not
Yeah.
fear of
Right.
rejection. We
Yeah.
got used to
Well,
rejection.
I think we won't because we're scared.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
So, but
Right.
I mean, I do it.
Well, I also
It depends.
think like,
I
if
think y'all
we-
do it when y'all know y'all have a good percentage of making the shot.
Yes,
If
but
it's
we're,
up there with the
usually women do
75%,
though.
yeah.
Well, I think they do it more so towards guys that they already know and establish a good relationship
Depends
with.
where
No,
you at too.
I-
Because when I
Really?
went down south,
Dude, that's different though.
that's what I'm saying. I was like, they was coming to me like I was thrown off. They was like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, down. Yeah, no,
Southern Bells?
no, down. Yeah,
How
down.
you doing?
Down south, women are
Yes,
more
they-
aggressive.
They more upfront.
I feel like-
they more upfront and they come
Really?
at you.
Yes.
I thought that was more of a
haven't
northern
Yes.
thing.
No,
don't think
no,
that.
it's the complete opposite
No,
here at
that's
home.
funny.
It's the complete
I was
opposite here
gonna
at
say,
home.
New York women.
Yo, you like it or not?
Yeah. What's up, B? Like that. They're like the
New
most.
York women are niggas.
Yikes! Don't do
They are
that.
straight niggas.
I feel like I don't know. Well,
They are straight. What's up? You trying to go to my place? What's up, B?
but
I'm like,
I do feel like college is a little different. People are a little more.
She got her
you're
Timbs
growing
on.
into yourself.
Yeah.
You get a little more confidence. But
I'm weak. I also
That's like
had
me
a,
being down south. Period. That was my first experience. But me being down south, that's my experience. Period. Being down south, outside the campus and all.
I mean,
Do you all feel a pressure like to say yes to a girl? I was hanging out with someone. She shot a shot, and the guy kind of was like, he kind of like curved her a little bit. She was like, "Oh, he must be gay." Do
No.
y'all feel like that? Like
Not
pressure?
anymore.
Not anymore.
Well, like what pressure
I
to
was
say?
younger.
Pressure
the
to
pressure
would
that
say.
like, okay, if I say no to this girl, she's going to think that I'm gay.
Hell
If
no.
say
I
to
never
this
felt
girl,
that way.
She's going to think. She's going to think there's something wrong with
Have
her.
I never felt that
have you
way.
ever
Younger, not the gay
been
part,
with a
but-
girl just because she talked to you? Like you weren't really interested in her.
No, no.
Like, have you like she approached you? She was the aggressor. Like just because of that, were you like did things with her? Were you with her because of that?
Only just the fact that she went smack at me.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, you didn't really like her, but
But, like-
she approached you, so
No.
you kind of felt obligated.
All right. Well, the
No.
second question:
That
You've
doesn't
ever
make
been with a
any
girl because
sense.
you're bored? Like
No. Y'all asking the right one.
cap alert. I don't believe that.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
no, no.
women do that, though. I think
No, no.
women, I think women do that more.
Y'all asking the right one. Cause here's my thing. I don't like wasting my time, right? So if I don't want to deal with you, if I don't want to be bothered with you,
do that now. Back then, yeah.
I
yeah.
think women do that too, though.
But me, like I've never been that way because I value my time. So if I feel like we're not vibing the way I feel like it should be, if we're not matching each other energy, I'm not gonna waste my time, regardless of whether you came up to me or not.
True. Well, in that same token, I think it's interesting how men are like, well, I approached her respectfully. I was nice. And in that, sometimes you all feel like just because you approached a woman respectfully and because you were nice, she has to give in or she has to give you.
It's more than that.
A lot of men of men really think that.
It's more than that.
And if you say no, it's like, well, you know, I mean, I should have just
you
been
come
disrespectful.
A bitch, you're fat,
exactly.
you ugly.
So,
and
then I feel like you guys also don't realize how, as a woman, like you have to be on guard. Like we're not allowed a lot of the luxuries. Like you guys can just go for a walk. Right. If I go for a walk, I'm thinking I probably should take my dog. I need to have 3 people. I need to have my phone on me.
Y'all have to think about, y'all got to think about and prepare about everything y'all do. Y'all can't just go to the store. Y'all can't just, go wash your clothes. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to think about that shit.
So when you guys come approach us, and especially, I feel like, in situations like going to the gas station, I've had a few incidents where I'm like, bro, like, that's scary. You're creepy. It's late. Like, you're trying to sneak up on me, and then you get offended that I'm not, like, there's a time and a place. But I do think that a lot of times women, we allow, if we think they're attractive, those certain things to be okay in a situation. For me, even if you're cute, like, bro, I'm walking by myself. I'm not trying to give you my number. Like, you just pulled up in a car.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Me. I'm big as shit, so I'm easy to scare people. And I generally just want to know what time it is, so I understand that point. A lot of dudes don't understand that.
Yeah, it's
that like.
And then I feel like you guys
attacked.
I'm like you could kill, like, if we say. And then another thing that I don't get, if we turn down your number or you get mad that we don't want to give you a fake number and stuff, and it's like because you kill us. Like, that's a fact. Like, if we turn down the wrong man, we could die. Yeah. It's like, oh, why don't you text me? Or why'd you give me your number? You weren't going to talk to me? Because I wanted to live. Like, I don't know you.
It's the same thing like when you're hanging out with someone and he drove and you hated the date. Like, you're upset. Like, you're like, I cannot believe I wasted my time with. You can't exactly verbalize that he drove. Like, oh, well. And then afterwards, I was talking to someone and a guy, he was like, well, she acted like the date was fine. And I'm like, who held all the cards? You went out to eat. You paid, right? You went out to eat. You drove, right? At what point did you want her to say something? She couldn't. She doesn't know what you would do. You could have left her on the side of the road, and that's a real fear. You could have left her at the dinner table. Like, there's so many. If
you got really angry,
exactly. There's so many real fears. In 2021, if you telling a girl she's too cute to pump her own gas, she's too cute to pay for it too. How about that? Like, let's do something. Let's do something more
proactive. Shoot your shot. Hit her cash out.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I've. Like, if you're going to scare me, like, I would rather get something out of it. I'm just saying.
She's different. Don't scare me. Leave me alone. I feel like it's the best. Don't talk to me.
Well, okay, but I also think differently about her. I feel like there's time and a place for things. So if someone's seen me out, like, walking, and I've never seen that person before, they're never going to see me again. Like, I'm open to chance. And yeah, I may be scared a little bit, but, like, at what point? So when do we want men to talk to us? Like, if we're saying, like... but that's not you all the time, though.
But see that,
that's what I'm saying. Like, when do you want a man to talk to you?
That is why
if it can't be at a gas station, if it can't be walking, when do you want a man to talk to you?
That is why a lot of men our age
go through the DMs.
Right. Because it's that. And I get it, because you guys have this wall up already. But at the same time,
done greasy, and I was just trying. I came nice. Like I said, y'all can say no. That's cool.
Right.
But a lot of females want to tear you down too. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm like,
I feel like that's
why is it that greasy though?
I feel like there's a particular type of
what I'm saying? Like, I understand when a female say something to do and they get declined, then they say something. You declining me and tearing me down at the same time. Like,
that's unnecessary.
Dang.
That's
But a lot of females do that,
I've never done that.
A lot of females do it.
No, I get it. No, I'm just saying. But have you
I've
ever
never done
seen?
that. I've never seen it.
I was gonna say I really
never seen.
I haven't seen
y'all
that.
what y'all say? Y'all with the flowers? Y'all never seen that?
Shit, flowers.
I know a couple females. I mean, a lot of females from Flowers that I heard say shit like that. That's why I was confused. I'm like, y'all never seen no female do that? Like a dude trying to go at them and they literally rip them in half. Huh? Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
I really
sometimes
haven't.
I think women are a little bit more.
I'm talking about like as an adult. Are we talking about like
as an adult?
Like you're talking about as an adult?
As an adult, I'm not talking about high school because that happened way often. That happened way often in high school.
I was gonna say I've never seen
not saying
that.
specifically to me a lot.
No, but like just somebody you knew.
Well, it did happen to me a lot. But what I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying? As a grown person,
well, I'm
gonna say from 21 up. That happens.
I'm so sorry.
A lot. No, it happens a lot. That's why.
And I've seen it happen to other dudes a lot too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not just me.
So walk me
I'm
through
not
the
just
scenario.
speaking of me.
Yeah, I was
walk
saying,
me
can
through
you
the scenario.
explain
What
that?
happens?
Man, it's tough because even when we come off right, you know, and I get it, like timing is everything because.
Well, I feel like you guys have an expectation too that like if I say this, then like you're supposed to get something. Like if we go on a date and I pay, there's a certain expectation. If I do certain things, so you guys have a lot of expectations for.
And you
what are we going to smash your first night?
You feel like it's a waste if you paid for dinner and you didn't get anything back.
As a youngin', I did. I ain't gonna hold you.
And one thing I noticed is like it's usually for dudes who don't have it. Like to be honest, and I told my little brother this. I'm like, look, you don't have it right now, so I understand why you're opting for Netflix and chill, low cost, low efficient, like high efficiency. I get you. You don't have a whole lot for yourself, so you can't rationalize giving what you don't have or what you do have to somebody else. Like I totally get that. But as a grown ass man, like you expecting this $40 dinner at Applebee's or TGI Fridays to get something for real?
Whoa. Hold on now. Hold on. Now, this goes back to the salary portion that I was talking about. Now, if I ask you out on a date, right?
Oh, it's not the quality of the place. I love Fridays and Applebee's.
Okay.
I'm talking about the first time date and like you expecting all of this stuff because you spent money for time.
I feel like
that's what I'm talking about.
I see what you're saying.
No.
I see what you're saying.
The Fridays and Largo gets it popping. I love that place. It's not that
I see what you're saying.
Fridays and
Largo Fridays.
That is like the worst.
That
is worst. It's
you said
on the boulevard.
Largo and Bowie is the worst Fridays ever.
That is true.
No. Don't forget the one in Forestville.
I never went to the one in Forestville, so I can't even tell you.
But one in Largo
I'm not eating in Forestville.
I always find someone that I know in the one in Largo. It feels like home. I love that one.
The drinks, garbage.
Hey, let's go to Forestville. Let's get something to eat. I'm not going to Forestville to get something to eat. Like what?
Hey, all I'm gonna say is you better off going to the carryout over there, not the Fridays.
That's the only time I ate a Forestville in my life. After the CFE around the corner by the Sunoco. You feel me? Give me a
the Sunoco, yeah.
You feel me? Tripping. I ain't eating that Forestville.
What I just wanted to clarify, it's not the place and it's not the amount of money. It's the fact that you thought that one interaction means that now I owe you something. That's the issue.
That if we hang out one time, that we should take our pants off the next.
That's
Like,
true.
like, oh, you know,
you know me enough.
Like you know me, like we already met. Like I don't.
And on the other end,
okay,
y'all think automatically when we have sex, that means we together.
That is
y'all
not
think
true.
That's not true.
That's
not true.
Dick, on
that's not
on
true.
Side.
Okay, let's do this.
I dealt with that a lot.
So sex, but what are you saying in between sex? Are you telling her hoop dreams?
What are you saying
No.
during sex?
No.
Y'all would say like, "Oh my God, girl, I love you. It's the best."
I never said nothing like that in my life as a grown up.
And then you're like, "How did she think we were in a relationship?"
As a grown up, I haven't done that. As a grown up, I haven't done that. No.
Okay, so then, all right. So then, the times that you're talking about, are they as a grown up or are they back then?
No, I'm talking about as a grown up.
Even now.
I feel like you guys kind of think that.
There's a lot of females, if you hit that twice, y'all go together.
Why are you hitting it
without
with no
even that
intention?
conversation?
Okay.
Why are you hitting it with no intention? Like,
If you have that conversation.
I feel
have you had that conversation?
Yes, I have that conversation with every female I deal with.
So-
when I don't have the intention.
I feel like you guys
to move
do
forward.
a lot of.
If we can have just a physical relationship, that's cool. Unless you're cool with it. If you know that off bucks, and then you decided to make it something else, then that's when I have an issue. When we already said that we just fucking, let's keep it a beat. We just fucking. But once I hit it twice, ain't like we fucking and like we doing like all the other, relationship shit other than having that relationship, then I get, y'all feeling the type of way. But we strictly, when we see each other, we just fuck.
And you made it clear
We made it
beforehand.
You cannot be mad.
I was gonna say
You cannot be mad when
I
I act single. And then, just because I happen to put it down on you.
Y'all gotta have these conversations with your
I feel the
sisters.
type of way and you automatically think you're a
I used to
girlfriend.
come over to this dude's house at 10 p.m. after 10 p.m. on purpose, and we smoke and we would just hang out. And for some reason, he thought we go together, and I'm just like,
Whoa!
I was gonna say,
I didn't even throw that thing at?
No, I didn't.
That's wild, Thornberry.
He a different breed.
I feel like
Yeah,
I
he a different breed.
more of the opposite. You guys to me are a little more emotional than you guys want to let on and say.
Nowadays.
Like if you treat a man how he treats you, if you keep it a buck, like I'm only like. If we're just fucking, I don't want to hear about your day. I don't care. I don't want to
understand that.
I don't want to hear about your emotional hangups. You guys, being honest, can't really handle what you're.
A woman saying that.
What you've been like, what you're throwing back at you, like be it.
As far as what?
All right, if we say we're just fucking, and I treat it as just fucking, that means like I don't want to hear about what's going on.
That means
don't
you need to leave afterwards.
That's like I said, like I'm putting on my clothes. There's no chilling. We're not getting food. Like that's it.
Yeah,
I mean, like, dang, you gonna leave like that?
Like
Yes.
a lot of men is used to the opposite. You know what I'm saying? That we used to doing that.
Right.
And with
Y'all
this
can't
new
handle
generation-
it.
Y'all can't handle
with
it.
this new generation, it seems like that we starting to go through what they used to go through, and they starting to act like how we used to act. Cause I see more dudes heartbroken than girls nowadays.
Right.
I was gonna say you talk about
Like I seen dudes. I seen
savages
dudes
out here.
hurt.
gotta
Me
block a few
too.
people.
My ex left me for a white boy. So I understand. Slim, look at my eyes. A white boy named Connor.
Hey,
Damn.
got that.
You feel me?
That country
And ain't
club.
like it was like she let me out easy. It was like FaceTime, face to face. I'm choosing him.
I gotta take it to the head.
You
off of that.
feel me? You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a switch going on.
I feel like you
women
guys
are
really.
definitely-
I feel like
And
you
that-
guys say you want something, and when
You
you
really
get it,
don't want that.
you don't want
You
it.
don't
and you
want women
can't
to be savages.
handle it. You don't really want us to really just fuck you and leave.
And leave.
Y'all want
Cause that
us-
shit like,
Y'all,
damn,
you
Shawty,
really want us
really
to
like
be
that?
pining
You know
over
what I'm
you
saying?
and waiting.
Yeah.
So like all that
See,
stuff
yo,
was
we so-
cast.
Well, see that is just
Hey.
that's just a control mechanism that we try to put in place so we can establish control over you guys.
problematic.
Yeah.
No, it is. No, it really is. Yeah, that's.
And
That's crazy.
another
Fucking
thing
you
that
and
you
fucking
guys do
someone
a
else is
lot
the issue.
too, going back to women, why we think that you guys say what you think we want to hear instead of just being honest. I've had a lot of situations where you'll say things and it's like, oh, I want to chill. I want to go. Like, if you just want to fuck, say that.
And the thing is, you all don't like our reaction. So
Well,
it's not like we can't handle the truth. You don't like our reaction. What?
I was gonna make that.
My bad. Go
point.
ahead, finish
No,
your point.
you just stole
My
it.
bad. I guess we're switching places. You
You
do
just
that.
stole it.
I was gonna say, you say a certain thing, and because you're expecting us to have a certain answer, and so if you say, hey, I just want to fuck, right? And if we don't want to fuck, we say no, that's okay. Like you guys will then it's like, oh, well, like see, that's why I didn't say that because you would do this. Like there's a certain, I feel like you guys have an expectation of if we're saying what you think we want to hear, and like she said, if we don't want to do it, then you get upset instead of being honest. When you break it down,
Yeah.
you're like, all right, oh yeah, I want to let's come over, like we can go out, and like that's not what you want. What do you really want? Oh, I want to fuck. Oh, I'm not on that time, but then it's a problem. So be honest.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't want to fuck, that's okay because there's a lot of women that do just want to.
You
do
know
that.
what? I've been in situations where I'm talking about like as a grown man where I've taken someone out, but they've expected me to carry things how most men carry things the first night, and when it did, and when that did not happen, it was like, damn, what's wrong with you? Nah, ain't nothing wrong with me.
That's another thing.
Ain't nothing.
Something was wrong with her.
Ain't nothing wrong with me.
I was gonna say, I feel like
And she should have been vocal too. If she didn't need the
I
dick,
got
she should have
cussed out
said that.
for opening the door for somebody.
I was gonna say, I
Like,
think
just
that we gotta just be
Opening
better.
the door.
Both groups at what we really want and what we're expecting, because we're kind of, like I said, we're just guessing. We're guessing what you want. You're guessing what we're thinking, and
Definitely.
that's not right.
What was you gonna say, Scoop?
Yeah.
What was I about to say? I just lost my point. I lost my point.
I just think as a whole, we need to communicate better.
Yes, we agree.
Both ways, and that's what I was saying at the beginning of the show. As far as like, you guys over here and we're over here, and we're having a shouting match, but like no one's working their way to the middle.
I feel like there's a lot of reasons why, and I feel like we should really get to
The bottom.
those points before we can really address certain things. And I think women, like, we do a very bad job of, if we make out with a guy or we have sex and it's not good, in our heads, I'm never doing that again. Instead of communicating
tell
that.
my group chat.
Or like if you make out with
Well, you guys run off.
yeah, and which
And
we
we just don't
shouldn't
say
do,
anything.
because
Right.
so then
Right.
you guys are just gonna assume that like what you
Yes.
did.
And that's where the hurt. And that's part of where the hurt comes from.
So I feel
on
like
our part.
as a women, we
Right.
need to do a better job of saying what we want, and you guys too, like teaching your partners what you want so that you can have a good experience, because they're different.
Right.
And I feel like we have an expectation that you should know. Women, you should masturbate. Why? You should not expect a man to know your body better than you know yourself.
Yeah.
But yes, we as both parties need to do a better job of communicating what you want so that we're all on the same page. However, black men, women, I think you guys need to understand the trauma that you've caused us, to understand why we're not as forthcoming. You need to be a little more patient and reassuring. I've had several instances where somebody will, oh, you could tell me something, or you be vulnerable, right? And that's not really what they want. And it's like, you just wasted my time. Like, why would you make, like, we didn't have to go there. You didn't have to ask certain things if you didn't care. So I feel like you should be upfront. Like, just don't say what you're expecting.
Stop fake caring.
Yes, stop fake caring.
Vice versa as well. If you don't really like a dude, or you just like a certain aspect of him, don't just have him along just because of that certain aspect, because we thinking you really fuck with us and you really don't. And a lot of females tend to do that. You will like really one aspect of a dude.
Right. Right.
Okay, I think some of you all think that
And then y'all
are
not
very,
bringing
very
up.
special.
I'm not really thinking about. I'm not really.
No, I know. I'm
talking
just
about
saying.
this,
It's a
I'm
point
just
that I
saying.
just want men to understand. Like, some of y'all think that women just can't do certain things and it just be about one aspect. Like,
We can just fuck.
we can just do that. Stop thinking you're so special. If a woman comes over after a certain time and y'all don't really talk much, sir, what did you think that was? What do you think she just dropped off and she left? Like, why do you think you're so special? Oh, I talked her drawers off. No, sir. If she came over, and that was the first thing she did, she was either going to do it with you or Lamar, who answered 20 minutes later. It's not her first time doing that. Like, just to be honest, like, women out here, some of us are just savages.
Oh, I know.
We need
Not
that for
me.
that.
Oh, I know. If I get a text message after 10 o'clock asking what I'm doing, like, I know what kind of time you're on.
Some of y'all be bragging like,
you got a flat tire?
Like, I must have really, you must have really saw something special in me. Like, no, sir, you just answered first.
And then I think you guys do wear women down, at least from my experience. Like, y'all are putting in enough. Like, you should have a part-time job with all the time and hours you spent. Like, don't think it's
you a W-2.
right, for real. Y'all really be like,
I do a whole lot not to really fuck with a nigga though. You know what I'm saying?
Like what?
As far as what I mean by that is, it's been plenty of times where I spent time, or I know a dude that spent time with a female and all that, and the whole time she didn't really fuck with him like that. And it's like, but why would you spend all this time with me if you really didn't fuck with me like that?
Why do men do it?
You know what I'm saying? Huh?
Why do men do it?
y'all do it.
I don't think we do. We don't do that.
We do that.
We don't do that.
I
We don't do that.
I think we use you for a lot of men.
Which is still time spent. Whether you using her, whether you interested, that's still time spent.
Which is, I understand that, which is true. What I'm saying.
Yes.
He's talking about time spent.
Yeah, I'm talking about
not
we
just
have different views of what time is.
No, I'm talking about we're talking and like I'm like talking about a relationship, but then at the same token, you don't really want to be in a relationship, but you like that one aspect of me, and you want to keep me for that.
Y'all
but when it comes to a
women
team,
only do this?
huh?
Y'all niggas are famous for that.
Doing everything but saying, yeah, you my girl. You know, I fuck with you for real.
You're over, you've met family, be like, oh, why do you think we're in a relationship? It's like, but okay. I'll
People do that. People do that to each other.
I was gonna say.
And whenever I start talking to someone, the first thing I ask is, what do you want? First thing I ask. Let's just get it clear off the table. That way I know. I would so much rather someone be honest than like being bullshitted. Like give me an option to opt out of bullshit.
But I think it goes a lot of, at least my experience is you guys don't really say what you want for real. You're saying what you think I would want to hear. And I could just want to fuck. And you're like, oh, get to know you. I'm like, that's like, you don't have to say that. Be honest. And I think that you guys want to put us in a certain like mold. Like you're expecting us to kind of be to give you what you want, right? And be there for you. And like we're just waiting, like you like have our door open for you to come in whenever you want.
I think we both do that in different ways.
Maybe, but I think that to sum this all up, we as a whole need to do a better job of communicating
and understanding instead of combative for what we.
But I think that comes back with understanding how the world treats us and how we treat each other. Yeah.
Like
you guys.
Because overall, we love y'all.
Honestly, no. For real, honestly, I mean, and we're speaking for like all good black men, of course. But like, no, we do love and cherish y'all. We do.
We came from a black woman.
Right. Exactly.
And I feel like we love y'all to almost our detriment sometimes. Like it's like we will sacrifice ourselves for you guys, and we have plenty of time. So
and I feel like we don't love y'all enough to our detriment.
Yeah, right. we will. Like I know that you probably will it's like get beat or something, and we won't call the cops, or we'll protect black men. We're the ones that hide them when they're running away and on the run. Like we love you to the detriment of ourselves, and so we ask that you guys just
love us too,
and understand why we are the way we are. I feel like there's a lot of like, why are y'all so this and that, and it's like because. And I don't feel like you guys take the time to get the because.
Well, we have to understand like how things all started from by the laws and Jim Crow and racism, slavery. So all that has a trickle down effect. Yeah.
Every answer is racism.
That we are the two most disrespectful people on this earth. The first is the black female. The second is the black male. Because they the most disrespected and humiliated, and we the most hunted.
Yep, and hated. Okay, good people. That's it for today's show.
All right, make sure you follow us and listen to our
t-shirt. Get the t-shirt.
Right.
We have merch.
Get the t-shirt.
Not yet. We're working on it. Like not quite. But make sure you guys listen to us. We're at That's Why You're Blocked Pod on Instagram, and we're on stream us on all platforms. We're getting ready to gear up into season 2, so make sure you guys check us out. I'm Carson Bailey.
Chanel Shots.
And we had a lot of fun. Thank you guys. Yeah.
We're gonna have you guys back on, of course, for a lot more shows, because these conversations need to be had.
I love it. This was wonderful, and I'm thankful for y'all coming on the show. Definitely.
All right, so that's it for today's show. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. This is Spade of Spades podcast. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks. We out. Peace.